What is up, everybody? Good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Sorry it took me a little bit longer to get started. I was getting some technical things set up here on my end, but super excited to be here with everybody. Today we're doing a crypto episode, a crypto live stream. So just going to be on here, just kind of chilling. We're going to be talking about some things on this market. As you probably saw from the title today, is crypto actually turning bullish, or is this another fake out? I definitely want to hear from everybody in the chat what you think. Are we turning bullish? Is this another fake out? I'm definitely going to be sharing kind of what I think. What are some of the things that I'm looking out for? What are some of the things that I am doing? And obviously, this is not going to be any of it financial advice. So be mindful of that. I'm not a financial advisor. So don't listen to anything I say. Don't do anything I say, I should say. Maybe listen. You might be able to capture some of it, make up your own mind with it. But yeah, just going to let everybody roll in as we get this live stream started. I hope everybody's Monday is going great or went great. I hope anybody that's already on a Tuesday, I hope you're already having an amazing day on Tuesday. It is 8:13 p.m. here where I am, so it's evening time. It's almost time to go to bed, but I'm going to be doing this live stream with you guys. I want to start being more active with this stuff. So for those of you that are watching this now and maybe one day in the future, used to probably see me on Good Morning Crypto. It was a show that we did for, I think, 3 years over at the 3T Warrior Academy channel. Shout out to the 3T Warrior Academy. And so we did Good Morning Crypto there for about 3 years. And so that's where Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, we would just go live as a group of us and we would talk about crypto. We would talk about the news. And so it was just a really cool thing that we did for a while. We all had different opinions, which made it, super engaging, and everything was just natural, no scripts. Abs would most of the time show us the articles. They got to a point that I was just like, dude, don't even show me the articles. Let's just go live and let's just show me the article so I can give you my first reaction to it. And so it just got a lot of fun doing it. It was really a lot of fun doing it. And ever since we ended that, I kind of just been focused on building as far as everything that I'm involved in. And so I haven't really done much with my social media or even continuing anything talking about crypto, talking about any of the other things that I do. So I've been setting this up over the last couple of weeks, and I finally have everything kind of going as far as my setup is concerned. So I want to start just going live a little bit more, making some videos a little bit more, obviously about crypto. I'm also going to be doing it a lot about AI because I'm super excited and I think that's the future. And so crypto and AI, in my opinion, go right hand in hand. There's two new technologies that are revolutionizing in a lot of the things, a lot of the ways in which we do things, a lot of industries, a lot of impact is being created by crypto and by AI. So I definitely want to start sharing everybody practical side of things that I'm doing with AI, just things that you could probably start doing on your day-to-day basis, leverage it to improve your life. So again, hope everybody is doing amazing. Let's do this. Let me share my screen. Let's get started with some crypto analysis over here. So I'm sharing Merlin, and you can see Merlin here at the bottom of the screen. Merlin is the smartest way to track your crypto. And FYI, I am affiliated. This is not a sponsorship. Merlin is not sponsoring this show. The XRP Investor, rocking the hat over here, the XRP Investor is also not sponsoring it, but I own XRP Investor. I created it. So I'm showcasing two apps that I'm a part of. No sponsorship whatsoever. I use them. I'm a part of the companies. So obviously I am going to showcase the apps over here. But so this is Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. And let's take a look at the markets. So Bitcoin right now sitting at $77,290. Total market cap, $2.5 trillion. We got Ethereum with $2,302. XRP, $1.40. And then obviously you got a couple of coins here, but we can go down the list. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's definitely been doing what seems to be kind of a positive reaction as far as price action. So then that's why I decided to put the title the way that I did. Is this turning bullish? Are we just going into another fake out, potentially going lower? And so you could listen to all the technical analysts. I am not a technical analyst. For those of you that know me from Good Morning Crypto, I don't really do technical analysis. I mean, I do know some basics and I kind of use it for my own personal thing. I'll probably share some charts from my very simple perspective that I take on the markets. My stuff is very, very macro. So I really just care about, the cycle essentially. I try to forecast, or I guess somewhat put a timeline of expectation as far as when bear markets start, as far as when to expect a bear market, how long it could last, when the bottom could come in. But that's really, it's just very basic. And again, we have to take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, it is still kind of just gambling, predicting. Obviously, it's an educated gamble, but that's kind of what it is as far as technical analysis for me. I'm not discarding it. Shout out to the technical analysts out there. Shout out to Gonzo in the community, in the 3T Warrior Academy community that puts out tremendously good value. But that's just kind of not my forte. But yeah, so the question now is, are we seeing kind of a trend reversal for Bitcoin, right? So we know that we topped in that first to second week of October. I think it was still the first week of October, first 7 days essentially. And ever since, we've just been creating this downtrend. Like we've been creating this downtrend, and it looks like we may have started to peak above it. And so are we actually coming out of a bear market? Are we doing a fake out, potentially going lower? Listen, I think that there is still, and this is, TA aside, I think that there is still potential for prices to come lower. My consensus is that we are in a bear market. And obviously anybody that agrees or that argues against it, fine. But the reality is the price action has been showing us that we are in a bear market. We've done lower lows, and lower lows. And I'm talking about being in a bear market in the micro scheme of things. As far as macro, Bitcoin's been on a bull run forever. Crypto has pretty much been on a bull run forever. So in the macro things, 10 years, no, we're not really in a bear market. Bitcoin has been consistently going higher every single time. But in the micro cycle, meaning, considering the 4 years, I think that we are in a bear market. I think that there's still room for us to potentially go lower. At the end of the day, and I'm going to show you guys here in just a second the power that there is in just applying a really simple concept. But I think there is the potential for us to go lower. But the way I look at it is, we reached 126,000 all-time high, and now we're sitting here at $77,000. This is discounted off to the all-time high. And so what happened in 21, and so I'll use that as an example. What happened in 21 was we saw Bitcoin get all the way up to $69,000, and then eventually came down, and it came down to approximately like 15-ish in the bear market. So my point is, imagine we're here, and the equivalent of this $29,000 is a $77,000. And then let's say, yes, we do still get like another leg down. Are the people that bought at $29,000 kicking themselves for buying at $29,000? Even now, 5 years later or 4 years later, are they upset with the fact that they bought at $29,000 when it's sitting at 77 and they could have bought at 15? Don't get me wrong, that's a half of the price. You could have essentially bought double the amount of Bitcoin. So I'm not saying don't pay attention, don't try to capitalize. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, because we can't predict the top, we also can't predict the bottom. And you can try all day long. You might get lucky. I've certainly gotten lucky a couple of times, but it's just simply not going to happen every single time. So my point is, if we are 77,000, which is the equivalent of potentially like back in 2022, seeing that 29,000. And yes, we do end up going lower, and maybe we get to 50. Maybe we get to 40. There's a lot of chatter that 40 is in the cards. And considering the pullbacks that we typically have going from a bull run to a bear market, I think it's definitely possible. But likely, I don't know. I think that the way that I want to do this market is I am looking at everything long term. So the 77,000, as I mentioned, could be the 29,000 of over here, okay, of 2022, June of 2022. And so here we are 4 years later, and we're at 77,000. So is Bitcoin going to get, and I'm talking about Bitcoin because it's the leader as far as, being the biggest crypto asset. It's not that I'm that I advocate towards Bitcoin the most, or that I advocate towards something else the most. I'm a crypto enthusiast. I'm invested in Bitcoin. I'm invested in XRP. I'm invested in even Ethereum still, a little bit, Solana. I'm invested in a lot of different cryptos, but I kind of like to look at Bitcoin first because Bitcoin has dictated the direction of the market every single time. We have not had a crypto bull run without Bitcoin. So I have to consider Bitcoin first. It is extremely important. And by the way, for the 10 of you, appreciate it. I just started doing these live streams, so I appreciate everyone that's joining in. And the one thing I want to say is subscribe, hit that like button, and engage with me in the chat. I definitely want to see some comments in the chat, so I appreciate everyone. If you have any questions, any comments that you want me to address as well, I'll be happy to address. This is just a chill Monday evening for me, live stream. So definitely feel free to share your thoughts in the chat. And yeah, like the way I look at it, it's just in the next 4 years, I just see Bitcoin growing. I just see more adoption for all of crypto. I don't see Bitcoin in the next 4 years, or in 4 years, I should say, not in the next, but in 4 years, I don't see Bitcoin being below $77,000. Again, I could be wrong. That's just my opinion, but the direction where we're going, and especially in the last 2 years, we saw so much demand come in from institutions. BlackRock went in super heavy, super excited about Bitcoin. And so I think that all of these things, together with regulation that is just the talk of the town at the moment, we've got all the pieces of regulation that are coming in. That's just going to open the doors for more use cases. Right now, we have what we have, and without clarity. Imagine when the Clarity Act comes in, the PACE, all this stuff. That's going to allow for just so many more use cases to be created for crypto. Like the main financial institutions, or a lot of the main financial institutions, aren't even offering crypto. I really believe we're headed to a world where Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, all of these mainstream banks that basically are the main banks that are all over the United States, and not to mention the rest of the world, but speaking of the United States only in this case, they're going to start offering crypto. And when they start offering crypto, we're just adding more. Like here's the massive thing that a lot of people don't realize. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, Capital One, so on and so forth. They have millions of clients with millions of accounts. Imagine when they activate the ability for you to buy crypto. It's like an instant, and not to use the flip of the switch, but it's like an instant flip of the switch as far as now millions of users having the ability to get exposure. Not saying all of them are going to get into crypto, but now it's there, and they sign into their banking app, and they're going to get a little pop-up that says, you can now buy Bitcoin, you can now buy crypto. Like, it's going to happen because companies like Coinbase, companies like Kraken, Robinhood, a lot of these innovative platforms are pushing for a platform where you can do everything. Like with Kraken and Coinbase, you can already trade tokenized stocks. And so we're getting to a point, and you can even, like with Coinbase, you can even earn 3 point whatever % on your USDC. So it's like better than a high yield savings account. So people are choosing these alternative ways to park their money to the bank. So once banks activate crypto, which they will, I don't think, for me, and again, this is my opinion, anybody that disagrees, feel free to let me know in the chat, which is fine. But I definitely think that they will activate crypto at some point. So once they do, all of those users are now going to see a little pop-up that says you can now buy and sell crypto. And so now they have the opportunity. And that's going to unlock, again, more people being able to invest. So all of these catalysts, but again, I don't think that they're going to do it before all these, before the Clarity Act, all these different pieces of legislation that are sitting to be worked on and approved. I don't think that they're going to do it beforehand. And honestly, I think for me, like the way that I see it, it works out perfect that we're in a bear market as far as that's concerned, because that's going to take its time. We've been seeing just delays and after delays. Now they're talking May. Let's see if anything actually gets worked through the next couple of days, the next couple of months. But it just so happens that we're in a bear market. It just so happens that if we look at prior bear markets, we are supposed to find a bottom somewhere in the last quarter of this year. And then we begin the upward momentum. That means bull run will start. Bull run does not start when Bitcoin gets back above 126,000. That is already well into the bull run, in my opinion. Like I used to say on Good Morning Crypto, bull run started January of 2023. People were sitting there in 2025 criticizing the fact that I was selling XRP at $3.20, or even before that, $2.86. Oh, it's too early. Bull run just started. Meanwhile, this is January of 25. Oh, bull run just started. That's dumb. It's going to go to 10. It's going to go to 100. It's going to go to 50. Whatever. But the point is, bull run started in January of 23, in my opinion. And why is that? Because, and let's switch over here to the XRP chart. Oh, you know what? In the top of XRP, let's head over to the XRP investor. All right. I'm going to show the chart here for XRP. And I'll talk about an XRP investor in just a second. But so a lot of people think that January 25, oh, bull run's just starting, all this good stuff. All right, but let's take a look at this, okay? Look at this down here. Let's go a little bit further back. XRP had this long period of consolidation. And for XRP is a little bit more difficult to showcase, but like I could still do it on this chart. Just got to zoom out a little bit. All right, look at this point right here. That's when XRP formed the lowest. This was actually later than Bitcoin. Way later. Let me show you guys. Let me go to full screen on this. Take a sip of the tea. All right. So let's head back into, and for someone who said he's not a technical analyst, I'm spending an awful lot of time here on the charts. But I just want to show you what I mean and why I believe that it started in January of 23. So for Bitcoin is apparent, okay? And then XRP kind of like the altcoins do tend to, overall they do go up along with XRP, with Bitcoin, but they can kind of like lagger and go a little bit more sideways and sometimes behave differently, especially when we have initial moves from Bitcoin because the liquidity starts to get sucked by the main asset. That's why we have Bitcoin usually take up a lot of the dominance in the beginning, and we see the Bitcoin dominance go up, but then eventually we see the Bitcoin dominance go down, which means liquidity is leaving Bitcoin and going into altcoins. So if we take a look at this chart here, let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Actually, zoomed out, it gives a better. Okay. So top of the market in 21. Okay. Then came down. Eventually the bottom formed right there. So let me do a line here. For those of you that have joined in a little bit later, this is Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. It's a portfolio tracker. I'm going to be talking a lot about it because I'm a part of the company and I run the customer support team. But like I'm going to be telling you guys about the features and the cool stuff you can do with it. It's a tracker with an exit strategy component, and we also have charting tools in it. But so that line that I'm showing right there, that's when we got the bottom for Bitcoin, and it's sitting somewhere around 15,000. Let's just say that. And so from this point forward, what do we have? We have high, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So this here got a little bit more extended, but higher low still, then eventually higher high. So when does the uptrend truly begin? It didn't begin here. It didn't begin here. It didn't begin here. In my opinion, it began down here, January of 2023 or December, the end of 2022. It's when we formed the lowest point in the structure, and then we began consistently higher highs and higher lows. So somebody that comes into the market in 2025, okay, January of 2025, and says bull run's just getting started, okay, over here, bull run. I'm still getting used to these tools, guys. We just introduced this a couple. So anybody that comes in here and says bull run's just getting started, that's not true. Look at all of this, okay? Let me pull up the ruler. I know there's a ruler here somewhere. Measure. There we go. All right. At that point, how does this work? Okay, here we go. At that point, we were up 469%. Not higher because I kind of ended it there. Let me put it there. Okay. At that point, we were up 557%. Bull run just started. Already up 557 or 600%, let's say, from when the bottom formed in December 2022, January 2023. So that's what I kept saying. And the Good Morning Crypto live streams, for those of you that were there, you might have heard me say this. I kept reiterating it. Bull run began in January of 23. In January of 25, we were not just getting started. That's why part of my exit strategy, and I highly recommend you all check out merlincrypto.com. That's where you can do your exit strategies. And with our new pro tool, we made it a lot easier for you to create them using Fibonacci retracement tool. But we were not just getting started, guys. You know, that's why I was selling at 286. That's why I was selling at 327. I think it was one of the targets. And then eventually, don't get me wrong, we went a little bit higher. Okay. But then what have we been doing now? We've been forming and we've been losing. We've been doing lower lows and lower highs. So now we're following the inverse pattern that we did for all of this time. Okay. And so now the way that I'm looking at this, okay, so let's go back to here. The way that I'm looking at it is eventually we're going to go from making lower highs and lower lows to making higher highs and higher lows. And honestly, at $1.39, you know, we've been hovering this for quite a bit. For Bitcoin, we've been hovering to 70,000. We got as low as like 60 something thousand. It's a great opportunity. We're down off the highs. Again, this might be the $29,000 price for Bitcoin of 2022 that now we're seeing 77 and maybe we go to 50. But at the end of the day, when it's sitting at 150 2 years from now, are you going to be more upset that you didn't buy it or that you consistently bought it? Or I guess that you didn't buy it at the lowest, but then didn't buy it at all. Or that you consistently dollar cost averaged in and now all of a sudden you're $77,000 or let's say $70,000 average cost for Bitcoin is sitting at 150. So that's, you know, a principle that I think everybody could adopt. Looks like we got a comment here. I don't know how to pull the comments in the chat. I'm testing out a new streaming platform here. It's very different than what we used to use before, but I see we got CVank. Mario, hope you're well, brother. Hope you're well as well. Appreciate the message. I know that there's a way to show this here in the chat, in the screen. So I apologize, but I'm using a new streaming tool here. So I'll figure it out for the next live stream. But I appreciate the message. If you haven't, go check out my YouTube. I'll be going live. And so you can follow me on YouTube as well. Subscribe there and yeah, look forward to seeing everybody. But so getting back to this, what I'm trying to say is that a dollar cost average is so freaking important. Okay. And so what I've done here at the XRP Investor. So let me talk about the XRP Investor for a little bit. And I don't want to make this this is not sponsored. This is my app. I created this. I had this crazy idea because, appreciate it. Here you go. Jumped over to YouTube. I still don't know how to share your comment. Juice. Yo, what's up, man? I don't know how to share comments, guys. Sorry, I'm using a new platform and I probably should have figured it out before going live, but I know there's a way to show the comments here on the live stream, but I'll give you guys a shout out and I'll respond to your questions. Appreciate you being here. But so the xrpinvestor.com, it's an app that I created. I saw an opportunity where for everything XRP, you kind of had like, you would go on X to search up news and you would end up following a bunch of accounts for like news and updates. And then you would watch videos and then you would go on YouTube. And so there was just things all over the place. And then there was this thing of like, okay, if I want to track the adoption, like there's all of these different elements of adoption. How do I even track it? And then just so much more. So I decided to create the XRP Investor. Okay. And it's basically everything in one place for XRP enthusiasts. So that's why I call it the premier XRP research platform. It's the perfect place for anybody that's into XRP to find out and learn everything about XRP. And I have a free tier subscription, so you can create your account and it is absolutely free. You don't pay anything for it. You get access to some basic features, but then because of some of the data that I display here on the XRP Investor, like a lot of this stuff, like the market sentiment, and I'm actually giving part of it for free, but like the fear and greed index, I give for free, and this is the XRP. This is XRP specific fear and greed index. I also have for the general crypto market, but a lot of these other pieces of data, I have to pay for it. And for anybody that has ever done an app and that has had to use APIs and APIs from companies, it is not cheap. They charge a lot of money. So if I ever get to a place where I'm making decent amount of money and I could just give this all for free, I will. But in order to keep this project alive, and especially since it's the beginning, I do have to charge a subscription for some of these more premium features. But like I have a lot of really good stuff, XRP versus Bitcoin comparisons. So this is a really cool one as well, where you can see the price of Bitcoin over a certain period of time versus the price of XRP. And then XRP ETF tracker. This was another one. I know that there's a couple of other tools out there, some that are even free to check the XRP ETFs. That's perfect. I'm not saying you shouldn't use those, but I also put it into here. I am getting the data from a professional provider of API data for like ETFs in general. And this stuff is expensive. And so it's very high quality data, very accurate. And that's why I had to make this a premium thing, and it's only available to premium subscribers. But you know, it's very high quality, super reliable. I also have a little RLUSD, and this is something really cool. I haven't even announced this yet. I kind of just soft launched it, but I'm going to send out an email to everybody that signed up. That's a part of this. I've got this new XRP Wealth Index, and this is where you can kind of come here and say, and I was going to connect it to the XRP ledger and have you put like your wallet address, but I know how people feel about like sharing their wallet address sometimes. So I'm like, you know what? It's not that I want to know anybody's wallet address. It's that it would just make it easier to even like track it. I'm just going to make it super simple. You come on here, you put in how much XRP you have. Let's say you have 2,000. And then it gives you like a little rank. And it tells you like your global rank, your position, and then a progress as well. What's up, KG? I see you in the chat, man. Appreciate you being here. Long time no see and no speak. Hope you're doing well, man. And so this just gives you... Somebody's calling me. Give me a sec. All right. So this just gives you also a progress that you can track and kind of motivate you to say, all right, I need 192 more XRP to get to the next target, which is 2,000. And then you get like a little badge as well, and like your little milestones, your little insights. And then I obviously show the table that everybody's super excited about, which is the accounts by percentile, or a lot of people call this the XRP rich list, is how much XRP it takes for you to be at a certain position. But yeah, some really cool features, and I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on. So I'm super excited that as this continues to grow, and as more of you, we love you too, KG, man, appreciate it. As more of you continue to show that love and support the mission here, obviously the more that I can continue to build. There is a lot of costs associated with this. I'm not even breaking even with this app yet. I need to do a better job of promoting it as well. I'm really thankful to Abs over at the Good Evening Crypto Show that he's helped me promote this a couple of times already. I'm super grateful for the 3T Warrior Academy as well. That's allowed me to talk about the app and kind of what I'm doing there. But I will be making more of a point to get it out to the world, just because I really believe that this is a really revolutionary tool for people that are into XRP, because you can find everything in one place. Like a lot of what you see here is actually available in the free tier, by the way. Miss you too, KG, man. Appreciate you being here. The XRP news, this is free. Okay, you can check out, and this is updating every day. Like you can see, this one literally just came in just now. So this is pulling in articles that are related to XRP only. This is free, and the main analytics up top here, this is also free. Some of the other ones down here, I think a majority of everything else down here is premium, because again, there's like data associated with it, and I have to pay for that data, and so that's why it's premium. But guys, like, if you decide to subscribe, I don't think I could show you here, because this is it's $6 a month. And I was going to make it where it's $6 a month until the end of 2025, and then increase the price, because I did the math, I did the model, and I really needed to be closer to $9 a month to be able to make this sustainable, profitable. You know, I am creating a business. You know, I want this to be profitable. But I decided to keep it at $6. Again, my goal for right now is really just to provide as much value as possible. So I'll keep it at $6. Eventually there will come a time, and I'm calling this Genesis pricing. Eventually there will come a time where I will be forced to increase the price, especially when I introduce some of the stuff that I'm looking to introduce. It does bring more costs. So then at that point, I'll have to put it to $9. But the good news is that anybody that signs up and locks in the Genesis pricing, I will never be raising your price. You will be $6 forever. You are my Genesis people. You are the people that supported me since day one. And so I am going to show you my commitment to you is that I will not be raising your prices. It will just be for people moving forward. But yeah, otherwise $6 a month or the free version, the free subscription. That's how much it costs. But anyway, I just wanted to explain to everybody here kind of what the XRP investor was all about. Let me sign back in. Let me just quickly switch the camera here so I can sign back in. And I want to show you guys. Sorry, I kind of went on a tangent because I wanted to explain to everyone what the XRP investor was all about. But what I wanted to showcase is the power of just keeping it boring, keeping it simple, the impact that it has long term. Let me just take a quick sip and then I'll jump into it. You know, I think I could put like some chill music playing in the background. Let me see. Actually, I can't. Okay. I'll figure that out for the next stream. All right. So I want to showcase this because it's so important. So Gonzo, shout out to Gonzo in the 3T Academy, also used to be in Good Morning Crypto with me. Gonzo, one day we're talking and he's like, hey, listen, there's this cool thing that I keep showing for the Academy, which is like a dollar cost average calculator for Bitcoin. And I'm like, tell me more. And then he explains to me how it lets you just basically see what your portfolio would have been had you accumulated on a particular cadence or frequency over a certain period of time. And I'm like, dude, that's a really good idea because I could probably do that for XRP. And he's like, oh, dude, that would be awesome. I've looked for it. I can't find it. I always show the Bitcoin one, but it would be really cool if there was an XRP one. I would also show it in my calls. And I'm like, all right. So 2 days later, I reach out to him. I'm like, how's this? And he's like, that is so cool, man. So I put together this DCA calculator. This is available for free as well for anybody that creates an account. And so what this lets you do is it lets you first choose a frequency. Okay. So you come on here and you say, all right, let's say you've been buying XRP monthly or weekly or daily. Okay. Whatever frequency. And again, this is for you to see what if I had done this, right? It's not so much to see the future. It's more to see what you could have done and what it would be worth today. Because this is going to show you what you're kind of missing out. Okay. KG, the way men set the mood for us next time. We'll be joining cross. Appreciate it, KG. Yeah. TheXRPinvestor.com, man. I'd love to see you there and receive your support. Oh, and by the way, for all of the subscribers of the premium plan, I also do this thing where every weekend you get a curated report. So that report includes like a sentiment breakdown. I could probably show you what it looks like actually right here. It's a weekly recap and then it becomes a part of the archive. So you can come on here and see the weekly recaps. So this is the latest one. It's called the weekly XRP. And then you get like a performance snapshot. You can see the price performance. So what the week opened, what the week closed, the high, the low, the week change, market sentiment overview. So it shows you what the overview of like the fear and greed index is. And then you can see the ETF tracker as well, like all the statistics. And then it also gives you like news highlights. So anything that stood out as far as XRP for the week. And then finally a weekly narrative. So this just kind of summarizes it. Really cool. I actually do use AI for this part. And so what it does, it just kind of takes all this data from the week and it creates a narrative so that you can kind of understand potentially what direction we're heading, or at least what the consensus is as far as all this data. So this also gets delivered to you if you're a premium subscriber every single week. But anyway, coming back here. All right, so forecasting the past, what we could have done had we bought XRP. Let's say we bought it weekly, okay? And I'm going to keep this like super simple because I think a majority of us, and I know that every country is different, so I don't mean to like be disrespectful in any way, but speaking to the audience of the United States, I think that between everything that we do and all the subscriptions that we pay for, we can find $20, okay? $20 that we can invest on a weekly basis. That's it, $20. Potentially 3 Starbucks coffees. Like if you're like me, then you're going to spend like $4 on coffee at Starbucks, even though I never do because I have my own coffee machine at home. But if you get like those super fancy coffees, I mean, chances are that this is like 3 coffees for the week. Okay, $20. If you had done this for the past 5 years, I want to go the longer time frame because I want to show you the impact of being consistent and doing something small like $20 a week for a long period of time. If you had started 5 years ago by buying $20 worth of XRP, today you would have accumulated 7,520. Let me zoom in. $7,529. Sorry, 7,529 XRP. You would have invested 5,000. Your current value would be 10,532. You would be at a profit. You'd be 100% profitable basically. You'd have doubled your money. All right. Your average price would have been way lower than we're still at today. 69 cents for your average price. You would have made 261 purchases. Okay. This is literally just by investing $20 a week for 5 years. Just kind of like, we can all do this. You can set it and forget it. You can go into your Coinbase, set up a recurring buy. You can go in whatever platform you buy XRP or crypto. You can go on there and just literally set up a recurring buy and set it and forget it. And you would have doubled your money. Okay. So this is the power of 2 things. 1, DCAing consistently, and 2, giving it time. Okay. If we had started 2 years ago, still in profit. A year ago, obviously not. We know XRP was sitting well above that. And we would have been at a $2.02 average. Okay. But now what happens going into the future? What happens where we now buy $1.40, $1.30, $1.40, $1.42, right? It's been hovering these prices for weeks now. Do we really think that XRP is going to be in these prices in the next 3 years? I know that for any XRP investors who were here during the SEC stuff, I mean, it was painful. We spent a long time on that 60, 50, 40 cent range. It was brutal, but we don't have that anymore. Okay. We have completely different circumstances, and we even have tailwinds now, as Brad Garlinghouse always keeps saying. I'm Canadian. I DCA $100 every week. This is from C88 Vank on YouTube. I'm Canadian. I DCA $100 every week in my TFSA. If you know that is, I do know that is the equivalent of like a Roth IRA in the States. I consult with a lot of Canadians, and so we have a lot of conversations about this, but kudos to you. $100 every week is going to go such a long way. Like, look at this. And I know this is in US dollars. It's not in Canadian, but if you had done $100 for the last 5 years, $100 a week, okay, you would have accumulated 37,000 XRP. That means you would have been up the ranks as far as the number of XRP. I think the 49,000, 50,000 puts you in the top 1%. So like, you wouldn't have been very far. You would have invested $26,000. You would be profiting 26. Again, the same percentages as far as gain. We're just adding more dollars to it. But your current value would be at 52,000. So just a lot of power in all this stuff. And so going into the future with all these tailwinds now, with regulation coming in, with clarity, all of that good stuff. I mean, I'm not saying XRP is going to explode. I'm not one of those people that comes on here and says that, you know, I believe XRP is going to go to this or whatever. And I'm not trying to like call anybody out, but I'm just saying I don't do that. But what I do believe is that I do honestly think that XRP will continue to grow. I do think that Bitcoin will continue to grow. The interest and adoption will continue to take place. Eventually, utility will take place. We don't even have utility yet. And so utility is going to come in. And once utility comes in, we're yet to know what the true effect of that is. And there's different levels of utility as well. There's so much use case that's being created around crypto. And so I cannot think of any other future where Bitcoin, XRP, and a lot of cryptos that we have today are just not going to be higher up in value. They have to be. It does not make sense for them not to be. So why can't we all just sit here today and say, for the next 3 years, I am going to buy $20 of XRP every single week. I will stop buying this coffee. I will not order in one of the times per week. I will do all of this stuff Yeah, up and to the right, DSM guy. Appreciate you, man, on X. Exactly. Like, it is going to do it because, first of all, this market's still so early. We're at 2.6 trillion. Like, we're still so small. 2.6 trillion leaves the stock market sometimes in a day. Like, that's the amount, that's how big it is. So, like, there's still so much room for this space to grow. And we cannot sit here and say that we're not going to go up eventually. These times, they test you as an investor. These are the times, and that's why I did the title, like, are we turning bullish or is this another fake out? Because there's a divergence of opinions in the market. I think that those of you that are here, and definitely those of you that watch Good Evening Crypto, Good Morning Crypto, Coach JV, like, you guys know that this is an opportunity. Prices have come down, and this is an opportunity, okay? And so we could be down here. Like, you see all this stuff, like this price action here, okay, from 23 all the way to 24, and then all of a sudden, explosion, okay? And that's what's going to happen eventually. And it might be that it falls in right with the timeline of us getting like clarity and then starting to get very bullish institutional news. The reality is institutions are going to basically drive this market moving forward. Like, the same reasons why people were excited about crypto 10 years ago are completely different than why they're excited about crypto now. Like, go to Bitcoin conference. I think Bitcoin conference tomorrow and day after. I'm actually going to be in Vegas, guys, for the XRP Las Vegas. I fly in on Wednesday. We're going to be there for XRP Las Vegas. So if any of you are attending XRP Las Vegas, I'll be there at the Merlin booth. A majority of the team is going to be there as well. So if you're there, come and say hi. I'd love to meet you in person. But Bitcoin, you go to Bitcoin conference now, it's like, oh, the speakers are institutions. And even the government last year with JD Vance being one of the speakers. Like, the same reasons that people got into crypto or that were excited about crypto 10 years ago, it's not the same reasons. But it is natural. It is natural for this to happen. I always said, I see a future where institutions become the bigger players in the market. They become the reason why the market grows. And so the institutional interest is what is allowing for this market to grow, because without them, I mean, it just wouldn't be the same. Like, peer-to-peer money without no government and no institution. I love the idea, but let's be realistic, guys. Like, it's just, it won't work in where we're at today. And I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm just saying it won't work. So as an investor, for me, listen, I'm going to capitalize. Is it good that institutions are jumping in? Probably not, because now they can manipulate it. They've been manipulating, but they will be able to manipulate it even more. But as a smart investor, we know everything always gets manipulated. Let me catch up on some of the comments, some of the chat here. Would that be something? This is from C88 Bank. I'm one of the guys that got in 2024, bought my first bit for pretty high price. Then watching you guys on GMC every day, I learned so much, and I truly appreciate you guys. Yeah, thank you, man. Well, you know what, man? Like, you got to stay here. Like, I know how it feels to come in at the top of the market. Like, I got into, and I know that in hindsight, it all looks so much better. But trust me, in hindsight, 9 years from now, it is going to look better. And so my point is, I got into crypto in 2017. I bought a lot of XRP, Bitcoin. It rode it all the way up, went all the way up, then came all the way down. Didn't know what the heck I was doing. But basically, my point is that I bought a lot of the top of the market, and I bought prices that then didn't make sense. In time, they made sense, right? Me at the time having XRP average cost of like 30 something cents, where at some point we went lower than that. That was terrible for a couple of years. But then eventually it came back. And then buying a bunch of XRP in January 21, when Ripple got sued, that was a tremendous risky move. That was a really risky move. And I had to wait a long time to see the grass greener on the other side, to see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as my portfolio value. But time gave me that, okay? And obviously confidence, conviction in what I was invested in. I was invested in XRP not because of somebody telling me that I should buy it, but because I researched it, I understood it, and I believed that what I was invested in was an investment that I felt comfortable with. And even though XRP and Ripple was getting sued by the SEC, that was just going to be a temporary thing that we were going to deal with, and that it was eventually going to be seen as an opportunity for us to accumulate XRP during those prices. So anyway, just the power of DCA, it's so important. So C88 Bank, appreciate you being here, man. Just keep sticking to it. If you believe in it, then just keep believing and give it time. And honestly, one day you're going to look back and you're going to say, man, thank God that I did that. Thank God that I held on. Juice, bullish indeed. Like, these prices are just, you've got to be bullish when others are fearful. And the one thing we're seeing right now is consistently fearful. People like the same. I used to get people last year text me, hey man, what crypto should I get into? And I'm like, dude, you shouldn't get into anything right now. Just calm down. Prices are going to chill. So just calm down. C88 Bank, I've lowered my price drastically. Yeah, I know that's the opportunity right now. It's being able to lower your cost average if you got in a little bit higher than, or, higher in general, both in self-custody and TFSA. Yep. Yeah. It's like, I like to say, like, in America with the Roth IRA accounts, like we have a limit of contribution we can do per year. So like, you can only put in so much per year towards a Roth IRA. And it depends if you're under 50, over 50. I think the numbers right now is like 7,400 if you're under 50, 8,400, or 7,600 if you're under 50. I could look it up, but yeah, like, you don't do one or the other. You do both. Roth IRA is awesome because it grows tax free. You don't have to worry about taxes. You can like proactively sell your crypto inside of it, take advantage, have an exit strategy, sell your crypto as it goes up, hold, buy more as it goes down, not taxable, continue to grow it that way. As opposed to obviously anything you do in an exchange, you're liable for capital gains. Patience pays from Juice, 100%. I got to figure out how to put these comments on the screen. It's kind of weird. You guys are hearing me, but you can't see it. I know that there's a way, guys. I will figure it out for the next stream. Never used this platform before. We used to use something different for Good Morning Crypto. So I'll figure it out now for our next stream for sure. It's not about timing the market. DSM guy over on X. It's not about timing the market. It's time in the market 100%. That, we say that all the time, and it's 100% too. KG, we missed a morale boost, Mario. Yeah, appreciate it, man. No one does it better. I think Abs does a great job at morale boost. Abs is an extremely optimistic and positive guy. He's got energy until forever. So Abs is a great host. He definitely does great at the morale boost. C88 Vank, 100%. Yep. But yeah, guys, like, we have to, like, these are opportunities we have in the market. Now, I appreciate everybody engaging. Like, this is my first live stream talking about crypto. Solo, probably the first live stream period. But yeah, I appreciate everybody being here and kind of showing the support. I'll definitely be doing more often, regularly. Like, that's my goal. Right now I have it built into my schedule to come live twice a week. That'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays. But since this week is going to be kind of weird, not weird, but just off schedule, I got to travel to Las Vegas on Wednesday for the XRP conference. So I figured, you know what, let me just go live today. I want to get started sooner rather than later, and I had a little bit of time. What do you think about Flare XRP? This is from Juice over on X. Look, I think that I honestly need to do a better job at jumping into it more. I haven't necessarily done anything with it. I have some Flare. I also have some Songbird, primarily from what was airdropped when I did the snapshot from XRP. But I have not participated in the network whatsoever. I know that there's some stuff that has been developing as far as you potentially being able to leverage your XRP, not leverage, but put it staked or earning. Again, I have not jumped into it, so I can't really speak too much, but I probably will at some point. Abs is great. We sure miss you. And they're going to come back one of these days for a pop in. Yeah, I will for sure. I will for sure pop in. But yeah, guys. So to address the title, okay, because we got to address the title. I don't want to do like misleading titles. Is crypto actually turning bullish, or is this another fake out? I'm actually going to vote that it's going to be a fake out. I do feel like because my timeline, and I'll show a chart that I've been putting together. I'll show it in the next live stream, but I feel like we still, and again, just so much is different versus other cycles that I'm always open-minded to things being different. Like when last year we kept talking about, oh, we're going super cycle, and Raoul Paul, we're getting business cycle, and this bull run is going to extend into Q2 of 2026. Like I wasn't banking on it. I wasn't going to change my strategy because of it, but I always said I'm open-minded to that being correct. And for my primary, I wouldn't even say for me to be wrong. It's not about me being wrong. It's more of, that's my belief system. And so I created my strategy around it. I'm open-minded for my strategy to kind of not be optimal for the situation. And if we continue going up, then even better, because for certain assets like XRP, Bitcoin, and a few others, I don't plan to sell everything. I mean, I will if we get to astronomically high prices, but I have an exit strategy that's, percent sell, percent hold. And so like I have it set up. This is a Merlin demo account, so I don't have it on here, but the idea is like I will hold some for a long time and then I'll sell some when we're in a bull run. And so what happens if we go above targets that are part of my exit strategy? I will still have whatever coin. I will still have whatever crypto. So I will sell. If prices continue to go up, I'll probably just say, you know what, we continue to go up. I still have some more XRP. I'm going to sell some. So I'm open-minded to that being the case. I'm open-minded to now maybe the 60-ish thousand, whatever it was. What did we get for Bitcoin? 61. It was like 60. I think it touched like lower 60s somewhere. But yeah, I'm open-minded to that. Like, could that be the low? And, because we have more money, we have institutional demand now and all that good stuff. It's just a higher floor. We discussed that a lot as well on Good Morning Crypto when I used to do it. Maybe now during this bear market, we have a higher floor because there's just more money in the asset class. That could be the case, but the reality is if we kind of just like still stick to the script as far as like somewhat following the prior cycles, there is still room to go. Like we can still see like the 50s, and Gonzo talks about like high 40s. I'm not betting on it. Honestly, I've just been dollar cost averaging. Like I just showed you the dollar cost average tool in the XRP Investor. I've just been doing that for all the assets that I want to have as part of my portfolio. I shifted buy mode, a couple months ago. And so at this point, I'm looking at it where it's like, okay, do I kind of just want to wait on the sidelines and not buy anything and continue thinking that it's going to go lower? And then we don't? Or do I just want to be consistent and then eventually the price of crypto in general is going to go up tremendously and then I'm going to be good anyway? My goal is to come out of this market a winner. Yes, I want to optimize and maximize, but the one reality is if you can walk out of these markets a winner, then that puts you in extremely rare circumstances, because most people that play in the markets are not winners. There has to be buyers for there to be sellers. And so if you walk out a winner, that means that not everybody walked out a winner. It's just the nature of it. So if you walk out a winner and you've made money, then celebrate, be happy, be grateful, be humble. And that's kind of like how I see it. Could I make a 3x instead of a 2x? Sure. But at the end of the day, if I made a 2x and I'm making money and I am, beating the hurdle rate, as we talk about in the 3T Warrior Academy, as Coach JV talks about all the time, then I'm happy. Like I'm a happy camper. And I'll probably try to get Gonzo on here as well. Those of you that remember Gonzo, because we do, let me show you guys. For anybody that doesn't know, that used to watch Good Morning Crypto. So we do this live inside of the 3T Warrior Academy channel now. Every Friday, we do a new podcast. It's called the New Wealth Transfer Podcast. And so it's me, Gonzo, Jackie, Coach JV, May, Jeremy, and Johnny Crypto with a K. Wishing you all a good day. So we go live every Friday at around like 3:15 p.m. Eastern. And we stay live for like an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, we ended at like 5 p.m. Eastern. And we really just talk about everything finances and markets and kind of like what's going on and stuff. So for those of you that haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. Gonzo's on there. He does a little bit of TA, but I'll probably invite him, ask him if he wants to come on here and just kind of do just go live with me and just talk about different things, showcase. I'll also see like with Johnny and Avs eventually as well. Anybody that wants to join me, I'm cool with everybody. So, but yeah, I had some articles here pulled up. Oh, I digress. So my consensus with regards to my title, I do believe that we could be going down a little bit further. But with that said, I'm open-minded, so I've just been sticking to it. But I do lean more towards the fake out. I think that from a technical perspective, Gonzo has been showcasing how we've kind of broke a trend, so we might be holding this for a little bit. But again, we still have so much tension, so much stuff happening as far as like macro economy, and like what are the consequences of everything that's taking place as far as like this Iran situation. Like, what are the consequences? We've been seeing, obviously, oil's up already. Like, we go to fill up with gas at the gas station, and it's more expensive already. So, but what are the like longer term implications of all of it? And so, and hopefully let's not even say, because hopefully it doesn't happen, escalation. So I still think that there could be something that kind of like triggers the prices to go lower. And honestly, when it does, for all of us that are aware, it's just an opportunity. I know I've got some comments here. Let me address them. I remember the episode when you said you sold some. yeah. I was told I was crazy. I was like, yeah, people were saying I'm not selling until I see 150. And that's the thing though. Like, I could have been wrong, and I felt wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, in the moment, I was second guessing myself, because in that moment you really do get like, you know, the perfect Wall Street. You guys have all seen this. Like, we've shown this a million times. Okay. These are all the different emotions of the market. All right. And so when you're up here, you really feel thrill. You feel euphoria. You feel like it's going to continue to go up. And when you're selling at $3, I don't know why this is highlighted, but and when you're selling at $3, it really feels like a mistake, because it really feels like we're just going to continue to go up and we're going to go to 7, 8. Why are you going to sell at $3? Like, my exit strategy, and I kept saying on the show, I believe that $5 to $8 is the optimal zone for me. That's where I truly believe we're going to get to. And so I'll be maximizing my exit strategy, kind of like the burger analogy, maximizing my exit strategy around the $5 to $8. But look at that. Here we are, April 27, and we didn't even get to, I mean, people say we got to the all-time high because apparently the $3.80 something cent was not the all-time high, but whatever. We didn't even get past $4. That's my point. And so imagine how I would feel, or how you would feel with a strategy if you had the opportunity to. If it wasn't part of your goal to sell anything, then fine, that's fine. But it was my goal to sell something because I had been holding XRP for a long time. And so now I would be beating myself for not sticking to my guns, for not sticking to my strategy. And so that's the most important thing. And that's kind of like how I processed it. I was like, okay, am I going to be more upset if we don't continue to go up and we go into a bear market? Meaning I didn't take the profits that I wanted to, or I didn't execute part of my strategy. Or am I going to be more upset if I took it, but we continue to go up? And I was like, well, I'm going to be more upset if I don't do anything, because if I don't do anything, then I've got to wait another 4 years. If I did it, well, that means now I've got money on the side and it's still going up, which means I'm still in the market because I didn't sell all of it and I can still take more. So it's a win-win scenario. It is literally a win-win. And that's kind of how I processed it. Let me take a look at couple of others. So I haven't sold anything in a year and a half, which is fine. Yeah, it's completely fine. Like, if you got in the market in 24, you're just going to have the mindset of being a little bit longer. And honestly, we are spoiled in crypto. Oh, wow. We need to wait 4 years to see our portfolio 5, 7, 10x. So spoiled. Like, people in the stock market have to wait decades to see stuff like that sometimes. Have the mindset to hold most like you would a mutual fund. Yep. And especially with crypto, like, since it's so early, like Johnny talks about his experience with Amazon, how we got started investing in Amazon when it had just began, and he sold it too early, and now it would be worth multiple millions. So like, I think crypto is the same thing. The longer we can sell it, the better. Like, why would I even want to sell cycle? A lot of people would question, like, why would you even want to do it? Well, I do it because I still believe in the cycle. So I believe that prices will come lower. So then it will just give me an opportunity to accumulate more. And so I use it as kind of like a compounding strategy, right? A sell in a bull run as prices are going up, and then as prices come down. And even if prices don't come down as much as we anticipate, I still think that they always do, because prices always do. And it is hard to sell, Juice. It is so hard to sell. Especially when you're in that moment, when you're in that moment of like prices just going up and up and up, it is so hard to hit that button because it really feels like it's just going to continue to go up. Like it's the craziest thing. But yeah, you're so spot on. I just wanted that 4.5 was my first sell order. Oh man. Yeah, I had some like just under the $3.80 something cents. So I had some at like 370, I think it was. And then I did have some in the $4 ranges. But yeah, those didn't even trigger. But like those were small amounts, honestly. For me, it was just more of like practicing and de-risking. Just taking some chips off the table, just getting the capital back. The way I look at it is like, okay, I invested this much. It would be nice to get that back. And then know that I still have this much left in the market, and that now it's technically just house money. So yeah, but it is super hard to sell. Much like now it's hard to buy because every piece of news that you hear and watch is like, well, we're going to go down to 50 or 60. And so like it becomes difficult for you as an investor to sit here and say, why am I going to buy now at 77 if we're going to go to 70? And so we start procrastinating. We start like second guessing it and just getting confused on what to do. But if you just stay consistent and dollar cost average, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. It's going to go up in the long term. And it all depends how proactive, and I'm not a financial advisor. So, but it just all depends as well how proactive you want to be with your investments. Like you hear the people say how they're making money, like swing trading and stuff. Like it takes a long time to learn that stuff. I talk to Gonzo all the time, and Gonzo is on the charts every single day. Okay. But being on the charts every single day and being a good trader, and I'm not saying he's not, but I'm just saying like it takes skill, and it takes you just practicing that skill and doing it over and over again. So when you hear people say that they are going trading full time, just be mindful that it's going to take time. Much like any skill, you need to give it time in order to become good at it. But again, I've seen a lot of people, like one of the people that I watch is Crypto Lifer, and he's an extremely successful trader, and he didn't used to do that before. And so now he's got his community and stuff, like, and I take my hat off to him because he's just really consistent. Reminds me of Coach JV as far as like work ethic and abs and like everybody in our team. He's just like every single day live streaming, and he live streams his trades, and he's got his community teaching them how to trade. But you have to do it over and over again. And he reiterates the fact that it's hard work and it's just being consistent. C88 Bank. Exactly. Yeah. But the money I used to set up my family up, not feed them. We can wait. Yeah. Jackie in our group, she says all the time, go on rice and beans. Rice and beans. You got to save that money to invest. Go on rice and beans. I mean, I do love me a good steak. It's just so hard to just be on rice and beans. You got to have a steak along with it. Like my wife's a Brazilian, so for anybody that knows the Brazilian culture, like rice and beans is very big. With my wife could be on rice and beans. She's really cool when it comes to that because it's their culture. So she could be on rice and beans. She wouldn't complain. Rice, beans, and eggs. But I can't just do rice and beans. I got to have a steak. So I will save somewhere else. I will continue brewing my own coffee at home and saving that way and not splurging into crazy subscriptions. And I'll continue investing that way. Let me switch over the camera. We've been staring at this for a while. But guys, I just realized I've been doing this for an hour already. I really appreciate everyone that came to the live stream. It was good to see, C88 Vank, KG, Juice. Appreciate seeing you guys here in the chat. DSM guy, appreciate you being here in the live stream. I will be doing this more often, like I said. The goal is Tuesdays and Thursdays. This week I'm kind of going off of that because I'm just getting started and I'm also going to be traveling, so I still wanted to make sure to do it. But appreciate everybody being on. I will be on a more frequent and schedule so everyone knows exactly when to expect for me to come live. I will be doing also videos and live streams where I go over AI stuff. I think there's a lot of potential for everyone to leverage AI to improve their lives. And so like much like crypto, we can use it to invest in it and change our financial situation. Like we can leverage AI to just do so much more and potentially save so much time. So I'm going to start sharing some of the things that I do as far as AI and how I leverage it to, even the XRP investor. I'm not a programmer. I know technical stuff. I am very I would say I'm definitely above average computer savviness, but I can't develop an app. And the XRP investor is out there and it's fully functional and it's an awesome app. And I built it with the help of AI. I'm really good at prompting, and I've been developing this skill for like 4 years now, 3 to 4 years, where I've been using AI every single day. And so I've learned the skill of prompting, and it's much like anything that they say, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't know how to talk to AI, you're not going to get nothing decent. But if you learn the skill of talking to AI, of prompting, you will be able to do really cool stuff. And so I'll be showing you guys. So see you at Venk. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everyone who joined the live stream. I will be back. I'll see if I'm able to come on live while I'm in Vegas. Maybe I'll do a live stream, a special live stream with Gonzo or anybody else in the team. But I appreciate everybody being here with me tonight. Let me just pull up here some music so that I can cue this live stream. Oh, that is not what I want to play. All right, guys. Appreciate you being with me tonight. I hope you have an amazing evening, amazing morning, amazing day, just in general, wherever you are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.